Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I am not making this video to tell anybody that Buhari is a vindictive and a vengeful man. Any Nigerian above the age of 10 is aware that Buhari is a vindictive and a vengeful man. What I am making this video for, though, is to highlight yet again that this Buhari chap, this Malam Buhari, has placed himself firmly above the law of the land, to the point now that Buhari himself has made himself the law of the land. So you get a court judgment, you get a court order, you get the constitution and the legal books of Nigeria saying one thing, and Buhari will tell you that he has it differently because he knows more than the law, apparently. So now, and he cites reasons of national security to do this. And what am I really speaking to? I am speaking to the Dasuki situation. So let me bring you this. Enough is enough. Produce Dasuki now for trial if he is still alive. Court orders Buhari's DSS. And two things first from that headline before we get into the body of the story. The first part is the second phase of that headline. So enough is enough, produce Dasuki. That's the first phase. The second phase is for trial. So produce Dasuki for trial. So that's the first phase. The second phase is if he is still alive. So now they needn't have added that if he is still alive if there was not speculation as to the fact that this guy might not be alive, because that's not something that you would say unless you are querying it. You know, the headline should read produce Dasuki for trial, because the assumption should be he is still alive, because there's no reason to think that he is not alive, unless of course there is reason to believe that he's not alive. Hence they would have to add that appendage to say if he's still alive. So that is quite pungent, that's quite noted, that is quite specific in itself. So again, enough is enough, produce Dasuki now for trial if he is still alive. Then the third phase rather of that headline, court orders Buhari's DSS. So court orders Buhari's DSS, not court orders the federal government's DSS, not court orders Nigeria's DSS, court orders Buhari's DSS. Now that court orders Buhari DSS, of course, is at the discretion of the writer. So whoever wrote this piece added that, so he's already signaled what his leanings are, but then that's also the leanings of a lot of Nigerians. So that's the headline. So now let's get into the body of the story itself. So Justice Hussein Baba Yusuf of an Abuja High Court sitting in Maitama yesterday issued a production warrant to the Director General, Department of State Services, DSS, to produce a former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired, in court to face his trial on May 24. Dasuki was arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC since 2015. On trial with him are Aminu Baba Kusa, a former NNPC executive director, and two firms, Acacia Holding and Reliance Referral Hospital. They are arraigned on 32 counts of criminal breach of trust, misappropriation, and dishonest release and receiving of various sums of money to the tune of 33.3 billion naira. Production warrant is issued when a defendant is in the custody of the state, as is in Dasuki's case. The judge also ordered the prosecution to liaise with the DSS to produce the defendant whenever his matters come up. Hence, I will issue a production warrant to the DSS to produce the defendant for his trial on the next adjourned date. He then adjourned until May 24 for the trial. Earlier, the prosecuting counsel, Mr. Oluwaleke Atolegbe, had expressed surprise when he found out that Dasuki was not in court. Atolegbe told the court that it was the duty of the DSS to produce the defendant who was in their custody. Dasuki's counsel, Mr. Victor Okwadiri, told the court that it was the duty of the prosecution to produce the defendant in court, adding also that it is their duty also to explain his absence. Counsel to the second defendant, Mr. Solomon Umar San, told the court that it was now a common knowledge that the defendant was in the custody of the state. He said much as the ACJA allows for trial on absentia, this is an occasion where the law did not contemplate. My lord can use his inherent powers in two ways. One, issuance of production warrant, and secondly, issuance of bench warrant. The prosecution should find a way of producing the defendant in court. Counsel to the third and fourth defendants, Mr. Rilman and Mr. Ayodele, aligned with the learned Silk. There have been concerns over the status of Dasuki, whether dead or alive, but last month, an associate of the embattled former National Security Advisor described as false rumors that Dasuki is dead. According to Mr. Shahub, who runs an online medium, Opinion Nigeria, and has written a book on Dasuki, his rebuttal of the claim followed widespread false information going round on social media that Mr. Dasuki is dead. Mr. Shahub said when he and others visited Mr. Dasuki, they were received by the SSS spokesperson, Peter Afunaya, who urged them to disregard the information. So that is where the speculation was coming from. So apparently there's been rumors circulating on social media, etc., about the status of Dasuki. That is why that appendage was added to that headline. But now they are not producing him in court, so that would now even feed even more the ambers of that speculation, because obviously if you are putting him to trial, then you present him in court, and if he is in your custody, then it is your duty then to produce him in court when the court needs his presence. So this is what now this justice is requesting, a direct order to the DSS. Of course, if we are going by antecedent, then we're expecting them to ignore him, because what they then tend to do is to ignore court orders within the Buhari government. So we're expecting them to ignore it. So but then so speculations about Dasuki, the courts want him produced in person for trial, for his trial to commence or to carry on the 24th of May, which is not such a, it's just around the corner really. So we wait till the 24th of May to see Dasuki in person and to see what state of health he is in, because this guy now has been held now for 4 years solid, in spite of several countless court orders for his release. Is still being held against the wills of the law of the laws of the land. So now the laws of the land is now trying to assert itself. So who will now have dominion, the law of the land or Malam Buhari and the cabal? So this is now where the question is in terms of Dasuki. It's a gameplay, it's a personal thing, we all think, between Dasuki and Buhari, because of course Dasuki was one of the people that went to detain him during the coup that got him out of power when he was then the military dictator for Nigeria. So now I think this is now vengeance being served up. This is what I think personally. This is my personal opinion, and this is opinions held by other people as well, because I do not see any reason why the law courts in the land will say release this man, and you're saying you are holding him for reasons of national security. You release him and have security operatives monitor him if you have concerns. You don't go against the law of the land to assert your wishes. No, that's not how it works in a democracy. Even during military regimes, they used to obey the law courts. So we're in new times or uncharted territory where people are just doing as they will, because the laws don't seem to matter anymore now in Nigeria. It's just really the will and the whims of the cabal and Malam Buhari. That's really the system we're running at the moment. So Dasuki still being held against his will, of course, and against the will of the courts. More importantly, what says you? Colonel Dasuki, Malam Buhari, and law in Nigeria. That is the topic of this particular video. So come have a conversation with me around this in the comment section. But before you come have that conversation, conversation with me in the comment section. Click on the red subscribe button so it goes from red to gray. The bell button notifies you whenever I drop a video, so click on that as well. Once you've done both, then come have this conversation with me in the comment section, because I'm really keen to know what you think. So I'll leave you here, meet you in the comment section, but here I say peace.